I saw this story. I followed this story. I still don't understand this story. And that's why I bring in Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk Live, the co-host with Chris Sims, every morning, Monday through Friday, preceding this show on Peacock. It's the story of DeAndre Baker, who played for the Giants, or at least I think he played for the Giants, and now he's with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's got a chance to play for a Super Bowl ring. Who would have thought we'd be in this position, Mike? So explain to the audience the DeAndre Baker situation.
Well, it's funny. You don't understand it. You assume I understand it. I'm not sure anybody understands
You're a
it.
lawyer.
There was an incident back in May involving DeAndre Baker and Quentin Dunbar where the allegation was that they committed armed robbery at a house party. And as the days and weeks went by, there became a sense that maybe the witnesses / victims were changing their stories and maybe people were seeking money, and it all got very confusing and murky. And it's entirely possible that something happened that shouldn't have happened. But once the witnesses essentially are disqualified by this financial angle, and you had a lawyer representing the witnesses / victims who ended up being arrested for extortion, it's possible something happened that didn't happen, and then somebody saw an opportunity to make some money off of it. And the next thing you know, the whole case falls apart because no one can testify now because everyone's been corrupted by this one way or the other. So the end result is Quentin Dunbar never got charged. He's still playing and has been playing for the Seahawks. Baker was charged, was cut by the Giants, was reinstated by the league from the commissioner exempt list, and now is a member of the Chiefs practice squad. So who knows what ultimately did happen on that evening in May, but the end result is there's no one who can take a witness stand and ultimately provide the kind of evidence that would convict someone beyond a reasonable doubt. So no one's getting charged, no one's going to jail, except maybe people who are involved in this scam to turn the situation into a payday.
But I thought the lawyer is he involved, charged with extortion? Is the lawyer for these two, DeAndre Baker, is he in trouble too?
Well, it's the lawyer. This is where it gets even weirder. It's the lawyer representing the witnesses / victims who got charged with extortion. But then the lawyer for Quentin Dunbar was under scrutiny for being involved in this effort to pay off witnesses. See, there's a gray area there between paying off witnesses to influence testimony and also seeking the money because you're extorting money from these potential criminal defendants. And basically, everyone ends up being compromised. And the only winners in all this are the guys who very well may have committed a crime, but it's never going to be proven because you have no one that you can now put on a witness stand that anyone's going to believe because it's all been tainted by the profit motive that pops up when people realize, hey, that crime I just reported, maybe I can change my testimony if somebody's going to give me some money to do so.
DeAndre Baker ends up with the Kansas City Chiefs on their practice squad. Is he any good?
Well, he wasn't great last year, but he was a first-round pick. So somebody saw something in the guy to bring him into the NFL at a fairly high level. And if the Chiefs believe that they can work him into their system, and that's the thing about the practice squad, that you got 16 guys because of the COVID protocols. You have a spot to burn. Bring him in. See what he has. It's low risk. It's low money. And if you like him, you bring him up to the active roster and you put him on the field. If you don't like him, you just sever ties and move on to someone else. So I think it's smart for the Chiefs to do it. And yeah, he now has an opportunity to finish a very difficult and challenging year with a potential Super Bowl appearance.
Will the newest allegations against Antonio Brown be enough for the league to step in? First of all, explain what happened, and did he violate his contract already?
Well, and you've got three different parties that may care about what happened on October 15. You've got the Buccaneers, who already have issued a statement making it clear that they don't care. You've got the league, and then you've got the authorities who have responsibility for Antonio Brown's felony probation dating back to the incident in January with the driver of a moving truck. He's on probation for a felony. So one false move and you get thrown in jail. So what happened on October 15, allegedly, he broke a security camera at a gated community he resides at in Florida. He allegedly threw a bike at a security guard shack. The homeowners association decided not to press charges, but police concluded there was probable cause to find him guilty of misdemeanor criminal mischief. So from the authorities' perspective, is that enough to attack his probation? That's one question that hasn't been resolved yet. From the league's perspective, this guy's a repeat offender. Is this enough? Even if he's not charged, and we've seen guys get suspended without ever being arrested, like Ezekiel Elliott. Is this enough? But there's a separate issue, Dan. Under the terms of the personal conduct policy, if you're involved in an incident, even if you're not arrested, you've got an obligation to tell the league, and you can be disciplined separately for that. And the league yesterday, through its in-house media conglomerate, reported that it didn't know about this. So Brown didn't tell them about it when it happened. That could be a separate ground for disciplining him based upon his history, suspending him. You know, he's still got this open issue arising from the civil lawsuit alleging sexual assault and rape that the league just kicked the can. They didn't do anything. They're going to wait and see what the court does. They didn't want to take a position one way or the other, which is kind of ludicrous to me. If you're going to have an in-house justice system, at some point you need to issue a verdict. Their verdict is, we'll just wait and see what happens. But if they are motivated to go after him, they already have enough, just based on the fact, if it's true, as reported by NFL media, that he didn't disclose it to the league. So, look, at the end of the day, Dan, we've seen this time and again over the past 10 years. The league is going to do what it wants, when it wants, how it wants. And it has enough cover to do basically whatever it chooses to do in any one case. So we sit back and we wait and see whatever inclination they may have. If they want to suspend him again, they can. If they want to look the other way, they can. And we just wait and see what happens.
We're talking to Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk Live co-host. I brought this up when Alex Smith got in the game a couple of weeks ago. And I said to him, do you have your comeback Player of the Year award speech ready? And then all of a sudden I had somebody say, well, you're forgetting about Ben Roethlisberger. And I thought, okay, Ben coming back from arm surgery, he's, I guess implanted himself in the MVP candidacy race. But Alex Smith came back from nearly dying, nearly losing his leg, to throwing for over 300 yards in a game. Like, I don't know if it matters to either one of these players winning Comeback Player of the Year award, but it feels like what Alex Smith did is a whole lot different than what Ben Roethlisberger has done, even though Ben has played at a very high level and they're undefeated. Where do you stand?
Well, and I agree with you. Coming back from near amputation and near death is significant, and it's unprecedented. We're always going to have somebody who comes back from an injury and plays well. So I think the fact that this one is so different sets it apart. And part of the problem is nobody knows what it means to be the comeback player of the year. Ryan Tannehill won it last year. Shereen Williams, who works with us at PFT, said, what did he come back from? Stinking? Does that make you the comeback player of the year? I remember when Matthew Stafford won it. He never was in a position to be coming back. It was just the first year he was any good. So there's no definition for it. And I know Peter King, who's got one of the votes, said before Alex Smith even played in a game, all he's got to do is take one snap, and he gets my vote. And I have a feeling a lot of the 50 voters feel the same way.
I'll leave you with this, with a quick response. If Kyler Murray wins the NFC with the Cardinals, ...
MVP. Oh, without question.
Oh, okay.
MVP. If he wins, if he's the one seed, and he very well could end up taking the Cardinals to the one seed, but this guy's going to be potentially, and he's on track to be the first player in league history to throw for 4,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards. Everything he does is exciting. I wish more of his games were on a national platform so we could all appreciate how good he is. I've never seen anyone like him. The combination of speed, agility, and awareness. It is so fun to watch him, and I can't wait to see him on Thursday night. And I hope that we get to see him more times before the end of the season.
Great to talk to you, Mike. Thank you.